Raheem, how are you?
Oh, fine, thanks. How you doing?
Yeah. Worlds collide.
I know. Good to actually speak to you on the phone in first for the first
I
time.
know, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do it in person one day, like probably in 2 years or something when we when we come out of this.
Yeah, hopefully one day, hopefully we can, a game or something, and
Yeah.
either I come to watch it, one of you guys games, or you when you're on this side of the border,
Yeah.
come on
I
one of
I
ours.
think we were actually slated to play at Wembley later this year. I thought I heard that or saw that on our schedule. I think we are going to come over and play
What
the Lionesses. I think it was supposed to be in November or something. I mean, I doubt we'll be playing now, but
have you played them in England recently? Or
not for a minute. I'm trying to think the last time we played there. Yeah, it's been a couple years. We had a series of friendlies, I think maybe like 3 years ago. Um, and then before that, maybe Olympics. Most of our friendlies we play at home. We're lucky. A lot of teams travel here, so we get to play a lot of home games, which is nice for us.
no, to be fair, I feel like that with our national team as well. I feel like every time I go with the camp, I feel like our game majority of our games are at home as well whenever I'm
Yeah,
there. No,
that's
but
what
how
happens when you're the biggest draw. If you're the most popular teams come to you. Everybody wants to go play in England, and for us to come play here. So
yeah.
it's nice. I don't mind not traveling.
No, for sure. But how's the lockdown been treating you?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's really weird, It's so like I feel like the first few weeks were really like just weird and hard. Like I didn't know how to like orient myself and trying to think like how am I going to train and how am I going to continue to do everything that I was doing before. And then after a couple of weeks, I was kind of like, okay, we're not doing the same thing
I
that we
got
did
this.
before. And pretty quickly, I realized it was going to be a little bit of a long spell. So
Yeah, nah, it's the truth. The beginning was definitely weird, so weird. And then
mhm.
I just started to say to myself, I can't continue to do this. I can't just be in the this dark room playing my Call of Duty for 6 or 7 hours. So yeah, I just got a little
Yeah.
schedule in place. And
Yeah,
since then, it's
exactly.
been
That's kind of what I started to do too. I was like, okay, this is like, we're going to be in here for a while. We had like our stay at home orders. I don't know if you guys had those as well, like the official lockdown. So yeah, just started doing like a bunch of IG live and Zooms and interviews and just kind of like keeping ourselves busy, working out in whatever way we can. But yeah, we're just so limited. It's hard because I feel like in the moment you just, especially as an athlete, like, I mean, probably from the time you were 7 years old, you're like, you have a plan, you're going to training, and then you've been in a professional environment for so long, same for me. So to like not have any plan for like months on end, I'm like, this is bizarre, this is really
yeah,
strange.
I felt lost. I can't lie. Yeah, the first couple of weeks I did feel lost,
Yeah.
but then it just flew by. It's like literally like I think I seen the other day we've been off for like 50 something days. I think something like that,
Yeah.
like 50 days, and it's just
Mhm.
literally gone like that. So yeah, I can't
Yeah.
wait to get out there. To be honest.
Yeah, have you
Oh,
guys had a lot of like stuff with city? Have you like meetings and
yeah, we've had a lot of gym sessions on Zoom. We've had a lot of gym online
yeah.
sessions. We've had our programs been sent over to us, so like our weekly schedule. So yeah, I've been trying my best to to keep up with the plan. How
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, same. Basically, just like, yeah, doing all our gym. And I mean, it's like you can only do so much, It's like, even I feel like our sport in particular, it's hard to do a lot of individual training. Like,
Yeah,
you can go out and shoot, I guess, and you can like, get some cones and some bounce boards and stuff, but like you can't really like do a
not
lot.
the,
Like you kind of need a lot of people.
it's not the same intensity, is it? The
No.
same movements that you're doing. So it's the same. Like I try to stay out of the gym as I do a little bit in the gym, but I don't try to do too much,
Mhm.
because even when I'm at training, I don't really do a lot of gym work. It's just specific stuff to my program. So now I'm hit home. I don't want to just be hitting the gym, hitting the gym because I've never done
Yeah,
that
I know exactly. Yeah.
before.
Come
Yeah,
out of
so
here like looking all
come on,
not being able to move on the field.
can't turn. But yeah, I've
What's the
been
guy's name who plays for Wolves? The
uh, Traore.
Troy, you gonna come out looking like Troy?
I haven't seen anything like him. Oh my goodness
He
gracious.
better not be hitting the gym. That'd be
That's all natural.
disaster. Yeah.
you'll run straight through a brick wall. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Is there talk of when you guys are coming back at all?
um, they're trying to say that hopefully have games starting by the 12th of June, but we're still kind of, I think, waiting,
Yeah.
pretty much on the government to kind of give the go ahead. But I know the clubs are in talks and, doing their best that they can to try and find the best resolution for this. But yeah, we've had a few meetings cancelled, even on Zoom to talk about the restart. So
Hmm.
we have to just wait and see, really.
Yeah, kind of same for us too. And then too, I'm like, however long I've been in lockdown, I'm like, that's the length that my preseason needs to be. I can't just like
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
back into it.
you can't come back in with 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks. You need a full, as I said,
Yeah.
yeah, 4 or 5 weeks. Like, because
Yeah.
you can go back into, especially if you're going to go back into competition where it's not you're playing for friendlies, you're paying to literally win, and it's going to count for something. So you do need that preparation, definitely. Can't just go straight
Yeah.
back in.
I know it's hard. I mean, I've never in my professional career had this much time off normally. I mean, it's like, even like if you get a break, maybe a week or two, 2 weeks, whatever, you're kind of doing nothing, then you're kind of starting back up again and then
Yeah.
sort of easing into your preseason. Like, we never just have this much time without touching a ball and kind of being in the mix. So it's just, yeah, I'm curious to see how my body comes back. Maybe it would be better because we actually got a break for the first time, but I
Yeah. To
feel
be
like it's gonna
fair,
be
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's probably literally, I think the first time I've ever actually shut down, like pretty much since 17. I don't think I've literally stopped. I think the most I've ever had was probably 3 weeks off before. So yeah, this is really, really strange.
Yeah.
But
What's
yeah,
been the best part of being in lockdown, being quarantined?
I'd say the best part of being in quarantine is probably just, because we're on the road a lot, just always constantly traveling up and down the country.
Hmm.
You come home from a Champions League game, you got a league game on the weekend. So just probably just being able to have that actual time to, take away a lot of the, stress off my missus's hands, where she can, kind of lay in the bed in the morning and I can, get them up and shower them, make them a little bit of breakfast. And then,
Yeah.
after that, then it's her time and I'm back upstairs on the PlayStation. But yeah, I think that's been the best time is the family time. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, just being in one place. Like, we're constantly traveling. So it's like not having to get on a plane and go to the airport or have those sort of like early mornings and um yeah, all the other stuff too, all the like appearances and obligations that we have, like to just be home in one place for this long, I feel like is really nice, especially coming off last summer. It was just wild with, the winning the World Cup and sort of traveling everywhere and kind of having that success to be able to like chill out and just sort of spend some time at home is really nice. I feel like too, it's given like a little bit more of an opportunity, like, because I feel like when we're playing and you're just sort of like in the it just is constantly going, you're just onto the next thing, onto the next thing. There's not a lot of time to sort of think forward. I mean, you're right in the middle of your career. You have a lot longer in your career than I have left in mine, sort of getting towards the end of it. So to be able to have time to maybe like plan some stuff or even just kind of like brainstorm and think ahead, like, what am I interested in, what kind of stuff do I want to do, and even just kind of picking and choosing that right now has been cool because we just never get that time. Like, sometimes I'll, have one day to do that or, have like a strategy session, but to actually be able to do that sort of long term is kind of cool and sort of set ourselves up a little bit for after the career.
No, definitely. I feel like this moment, as you said, it's kind of, we're always on the go and never have a lot of time for yourselves and actually think of, as you're saying, like, even though I am 25, there's a lot of things that I'm looking at now for my
Mm-hmm.
future, not just for my future, but my family's future as well. And just this period has given me a time to, to actually think, reflect on my football, where I want to get to, what I want to do. Have I achieved what I've wanted to do? But also, what's the plan for the next 5 years? What's the plan, when you reach 35? So it has given me a lot of time to sit down and, kind of reflect and get to know myself a bit better as well, for sure, definitely. But yeah,
I
talk me
feel like
through.
for athletes too, it's becoming like so much more acceptable and encouraged to have those sort of outside things that you're interested in. You seem like you're, the kind of person that wants to take on more than just football. Like, it takes up a lot of our life and it takes up a lot of time, but almost in like an intellectual way and an emotional way, sometimes it's like not enough, like
Yeah,
going and train every day is like difficult, and there's challenges every day in it, but there's like kind of more, at least that I've seen, especially as I've gotten older. Do you feel like that with your, I mean, you're still relatively young, but that sort of like bigger picture of things that you're interested in?
definitely. And I think, I think one thing I love with the American culture is it's just the way everything's just so like relaxed. I look at like some of the NBA games and the way they go to games, and they're just in their normal clothes. So it just looks, how can I say it? It just looks so relaxed. There's not much that I wouldn't say the media would have a say. I think a lot of ours in this country, everything gets pinpointed out. There's things I have interest in, like music, clothes. A lot of that we tend to keep a lot back, reserve a lot more than I think people would in America. But as I can see it now, the generation now is kind of changing, and they're understanding you can be yourself, and be yourself, but also have an eye on what you're doing. So I feel that's one of the things that this country needs to kind of get better at. Is relaxing, not really
Oh yeah, y'all
yeah.
are way too uptight, way too uptight. The media too is like, even just, yeah, like you said, like, our tunnel game, like our professional athletes coming off the bus, like getting into the tunnel, like just that like self-expression, I think, like
Definitely.
or whatever's not, like getting off the bus, like you guys are always in your polos and like your matching pants that like don't really fit that well, and like the polos just kind of like, has like a big man city thing on it. It's so, I said this about the women's national team a lot. I'm like, if y'all would just loosen up and relax, like you'd probably win a lot more. Like everyone's so stressed, like media stressed and the fans are stressed. And it's like, just relax. Like we just have to go
Yeah,
out and like play. And I feel like the teams that have that self-expression, like you guys have that, Liverpool's having that, like this year, like the players that just play with that like freedom, they just get to be themselves. Like
yeah.
that's the best. You can do both. There's this assumption that as an athlete, if you don't think about sports 100% of the time, then like you're not committed. But like Michael Jordan was playing golf, gambling, smoking cigars, going to clubs like every day, and he was
Mm.
just fine. So it's like you can do it all if you want.
No, for sure. It's just little things like even for myself growing up. I remember being in Liverpool, and I used to have two earrings in. I used to, I came down from London, down south boy, so I was a little cheeky one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I remember just traveling up there, and a lot of the things and management was, take them two earrings out, it's flashy, it's blingy. But I'm not a materialistic person anyway. That was just my little thing. And then I kind of, you kind of get embedded in this kind of way of life of the English culture, football culture, really, which when you're young, you're meant to not be flash. We're not saying be flash, but, there's little traits that people have that means a lot to them. When I used to travel to games, it might sound silly, but I used to love having my little earrings in. That was like my
Yeah.
thing to have, to kind of get me in that mode. But yeah, it's one of them where I feel like, with the younger ones now, like Sanch, Callum, a lot of them now, they're expressing themselves, and it's good to see. But if there's things I ever see that they need correcting on, I always try to help them to keep an eye out for what they're doing. But I love the way they are, self-expressing themselves, for sure.
Yeah, I find it to be, it's almost like, it's like they want you to be the footballer, and like
Yeah,
they own that part of you, and they want that sort of to be the only thing that you can offer. And it's kind of like, you're obviously an amazing football, but like you have other things that you're interested in as well. But it's almost like this sort of power struggle of like, just show up on Saturday or Sunday and like give me my entertainment, and then like we don't want to hear a
yeah,
lot else from you. And I feel like definitely in America over the last like 10-15 years, like the power has been sort of shifting from the ownership and from the fans and the media to the athlete. And I feel like there's much more emphasis, like if you're going to ask us to be good role models for your kids, which everyone always does, then like you got to let us be ourselves as well.
yeah.
And so if you want us to like sort of do what you want, like let us kind of have that opposite part off the field as well.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I created YouTube, my YouTube channel as well. It's like every time I've done a game or finished a training session, and you do an interview by the side of the pitch or in the tunnel, it was pretty much, you always had to put on your best voice. You had to, speak correctly. It wasn't really Raheem, you know, like my friends would probably see me at home, and I wanted people to see that other side of me. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, I made that platform, and I will be doing a lot more work on that, you know, just to show fans, you know, yeah, when you're chilled, relaxed, and, you know, just having fun. A lot of time we're just uptight and, you know, really serious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we need that outlet too to sort of like
For sure.
relax. You spoke about the culture there a little bit. Well, let's just dive right into the racism topic. You've
Oh,
obviously get shit all the time. I think this, you know, soccer in Europe notoriously is um, had a problem with this racism. But what's so cool, I feel like about you is like you not only have that voice, you're one of the best players, but like you're making such a positive impact. Like what has it been like, I guess, to receive that kind of abuse, but then also like what has been your process of going through it and being like, okay, I want to speak up or I want to say something about it, and like what's your sort of vibe around that?
yeah, my whole reasoning and my whole, you know, why I said what I said was because, you know, as an individual, I feel like within myself I can take a lot. Um, I feel like I can, you know, receive criticism and take it and kind of handle it well. That's how I kind of thrive off stuff like this, of not racism, but more in, you know, criticism and negative stuff. So I always try to use the negative and make it into the positive. But when, you know, I started to get things about, you know, materialistic things, that were, you know, kind of being referred back to me, and, you know, people labeling me as these things, that's what upset me. You know, I don't have a problem with, you know, you talking about my football, talking if I had a good game, bad game. That doesn't bother me. Of course, I want to have a good game, and if I don't have a good game, I'm gonna be upset. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it was a constant. I felt like it was a constant attack, for no valid reason. And it's one of those where there's times I was really, really low. You know, I'm a person, I wouldn't even say stuff to my mum or, you know, my girlfriend, anything like this. I was very low, but I always take it in and just keep moving, keep moving. I just thought to myself, if I know how much it's affecting me in terms of the wordings that people are using to basically put me in a group of people, um, what would happen to a 17-year-old kid that's not probably as mentally as strong as I was?
Right.
Where would their career end up, or where would they, you know, kind of lead to? So that was more my thinking, you know, from that. And I just felt I had to say stuff because, you know, it was in a change room where two young lads were, um, you know, in the same team as me, both of them trying their absolute best, working their socks off. They both want, you know, to become a professional football player at Manchester City. And, you know, the wordings of, you know, two pretty similar stories of them both wanting to do the right things for their family. You know, one could be taken out of context and, you know, completely, have people judging one, Tosin, who I was referring to, and, you know, feel in that light, it looks like a good kid, and Tosin looks like a, you know, a money, you know, orientated person. So it was just that I just thought, you know, we need to understand, we, not just us as players, but also the media, we have a responsibility of, you know, being able to make people have a, you know, their have people lead the way how they want to be, you know, seen, and not just give the general public a perception of someone. So that was my whole reasoning behind it. And, you know, it's people's taken to it. A lot of people was, you know, give me credit for it, but it's not one of those where I was looking for credit. I just felt, you know, this is something that I feel like I truly believe that is wrong, and I truly believe that we need to, you know, all have, you know, thoughts and, um, you know, think twice before we do some of these stuff. But yeah, that was my whole reason.
Yeah. Do you feel like it like opened up conversations like in your own dressing room about it, or just like within the club or within like friends that you have or whatever?
Yeah, a lot of players, like, I can't actually tell you, but a lot of players, like, had messages, you know, DM direct messages on Instagram, just all saying, look, what you're doing right now is like top. Like, a lot of people, I think a lot of players just don't want to say anything. I feel like, you know, with the football over here, a lot of, you know, your personal life will, you know, with stories, everyone just wants to have an easy life, easy, I'd say sailing, a smooth sailing ship, and don't really have any commotion involved. And a lot of people, I think this is one of the reasons what kind of triggers a lot of players not to say stuff. But I feel if there's something that you actually really truly do believe in, it's one of those that you do need to speak up. You need your voice to be heard, because what happens in the next 5 to 10 years and 10 to 15 years? What is this going to continue to carry on? And I always refer back to a 17-year-old me when I think about stuff like this. Is if I was 17 again, what would I like to happen? And that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I understand from like a player perspective, like you're already like doing your career. You have a lot
Yeah,
on your plate. You're already playing every day and dealing with like all that pressure. I think for a lot of players, particularly I think the British media is notoriously vicious. So whether you never say anything at all to the media, like if you're a good player, they're going to pick you apart. So it doesn't matter. Like they're always going to be talking. So then to kind of add something onto their plate, I understand why a lot of players don't, which makes it like even more brave that you did that. And hopefully, other players, especially white players, will see that like even just like saying it, lending support, lending a hand, or retweeting something you said, or saying something their own, they can kind of like they can just help so much. I think sometimes like people feel overwhelmed, like I don't know what to do to help. I got to do like start a huge charity, and it's like you really don't. You can just say something in support. You can just kind
yeah,
of like put it out there a little bit, and that can have such a big impact, especially it's like whether we want it or not, like whatever, we have like millions of people that watch us, especially you guys in England. That's the biggest, most popular, baddest league in the world. So it's like you have this huge platform, and just like the littlest thing can make such a difference, like you said, for like kids who are growing up in the system, or who want to be Raheem Sterling when they grow up. Like it's not always the easiest road. So it's super brave that you said that, and that you're standing up for that. I hope other players do as well, because every time I see, we have major incidents in Europe a lot, and it's like every time I see one of those, I'm kind of like, if everyone was just as outraged as the players that are getting the abuse, or if the fans were just as outraged, then that would sort of like push out the bad actors, because it's not everyone, but it's enough people where we should all be standing up against that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's as you said, it's I think even after I said what I said, I have seen a lot more players kind of voicing their opinions, um, and shedding light on the situation. So it's one of those where we have to all be together in moments like this. It's not really an individual thing to do. This is something we have to do as a collective to kind of get our voice heard. And I think since then we have been pushing. I do have a few more meetings with the league as well, about an ambassador role. So it's one of those where we're gradually getting there, but it's not something that gets fixed overnight. But we'll keep pushing and keep trying to.
Yeah, I know it's a slow process,
A
unfortunately.
long road, yeah. But how's
Yeah.
the thing? The court situation. I heard seeing you got denied. How are you feeling
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. Again, it's a slow process for sure. Yeah, it got denied by, so it's like the federal, like this certain level of court. So we'll take it to the appeals to the next court. I mean, kind of the same thing. I think people just don't realize how pervasive it is in our society, and um, it's just something that is going to take a long time. And I think like as our popularity has grown, like in the court of public opinion, like we're smashing it. Everyone thinks that we should have pay equity and we should have equality, and across everything. It seems like the public opinion always is faster than when it actually gets into law. But it's disappointing. I mean, obviously, basically what the judge said was like, you negotiated your contract, and now that it's proving to be less than the men's contract, now you want to change it. But really, like, we asked for the same contract as the men, and they said no because they didn't want to pay us as much. So that was kind of frustrating that the judge sort of missed all of that. But I mean, it's just we've won everything, back to back World Cups, and we pretty much win every game that we play. And a big part of growing soccer in America, which is growing super fast and becoming really popular. So we just want like our fair share of that. We want to be like cut into the fair share of the growth of the game.
No, it's crazy because it's actually was really surprised to actually see that you guys got denied. The as you said, you've won the last two World Cups. You've what is it? Also, what the Nike shirts with the lady shirts are outselling the men's as well. So it's one of those where, it's the women's football in the US is gradually growing massive. It's every year is getting
Mhm.
bigger and bigger. It's the leading, I'd say, country in the world for women's football. So it's one of those where when you keep pushing, keep fighting, and you'll see it prevail, man. That's without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Speaking of soccer in America, you were born closer to America than you were to England. In a
Yeah.
long time, are we going to see Raheem, baby Shaq Sterling, playing in America? Your middle name, you're named after Shaq.
Yeah, yeah, man.
That's so dope. That is the coolest. Do you like follow Shaq and watch him? Like he's the best.
No, yeah, Shaq. No, know a lot
Ah,
about Shaq. Yeah,
he's so
big,
funny.
big, big Shaq. But yeah, nah, America, love it. I love it. I love that country. It's one day. It's definitely a dream of mine to be there. Obviously, not sure where in the country would be nice, but I'm sure there's a lot of places. Furthermore, you're asking me a question. Where's actually, where's the ideal place you'd say? North
Ooh,
Coast, West Coast?
Ooh man. It depends. I mean, the thing is, like, New York's incredible, but like the team isn't in Manhattan, so you got to like travel and the traffic and all that. I would say LA or like Miami. The Miami team, obviously Beckham's coming in with his Miami team, but
Uh,
the LA teams are just like so nice. The weather's good, like it's chill. You got the beach right there.
Miami might be a shout.
Yeah.
1 hour. How long's the flight from there to Jamaica? I think maybe like 1 hour. Yeah, probably what 1 hour 45. So Miami is definitely a beautiful place. I've been there in the summer as well with my family. I was really impressed with that. Very,
Yeah,
very impressed.
Miami's
Very
dope.
nice.
The
Very
West
nice.
Coast is nice though. The West Coast is, I feel like, especially like coming from England, it'd be like way different. Weather would be good all the time, be sunny, it'd
So
be chill.
if you were to go somewhere like a little weekend with your missus, where would you go?
Ooh, in the US. Palm Springs, super nice. That's like just inland from LA, like in the desert kind of. So it's
Yeah.
always hot, good like pools, everything like that. Miami's dope. New York's awesome. Um, you go to like the Hamptons, which is outside of New York. So it's like little beaches outside of New York, like bougie beach town.
New York's busy,
Uh,
very busy though. I remember going there again. I went last summer again. It was really, really busy. I thought London was busy. That is a
oh,
different
in New
level of
York?
busy. Yeah,
Oh, it's
busy.
crazy. Yeah, it's totally insane. What I've learned about New York, I feel like I went to New York like quite a few times when I was younger, but a lot of times it'd be like we were either playing there or like go there for business or an appearance or something. And you're always like in like the Times Square area and it's like crazy. But lower Manhattan, like Soho, like West Village, like once you're in there a little bit more, you can kind of like get your bearings and chill. But to go in for like a few days is like madness. Like it's insane, just jam packed with people all the time.
No, it's beautiful at the same time. But as I said, I'm kind of happy. Like I live in Manchester from London because I can't do all that busy traffic. When I need to get somewhere, I need to get there straight away. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
do the yeah.
That's not New York, yeah. And in the summer too, New York, like because it's hot there, it actually really stinks because all the trash is outside. So it's like you gotta time it up when you get there. Yeah. But it is fashion capital, so that's a
Yeah.
good thing. You're into your fashion, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm actually working on. I seen you've got a clothing line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a clothing line. Yeah, I'm actually working on. I'm working on a little brand called 1692. The year Kingston was founded. And yeah, I'm gonna try and go down this avenue as well. But of course,
Yeah.
have the right people working on it for me, so I have minimal um, things to do regarding the brand. But yeah, it's something that I'm definitely looking forward to, man. Because
What
in
kind
the
of
future,
what kind of clothing is it?
Um, I'd say, have you ever heard of what I say? What's that? Yeah, like kind of smart streetwear, smarty,
Yeah.
that kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah, something a little different, man. Because I truly do believe I have a little eye for fashion, so I'm gonna give it a go and see how it goes. Definitely.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
awesome.
but I wanted to ask you, man, how was it winning the World Cup? The feeling, that moment.
Yeah, ridiculous. Like it's really weird because it's kind of like uh it's very surreal because it's like you've dreamt about it your whole life. Like this is like the whole point of playing, so you can like
Yeah,
win championships and
the
play
pinnacle.
for your country and winning the World Cups. Like the ultimate. So it's actually like a really weird moment. Like you're sort of looking around, like, did this actually happen? Um, and then you're kind of relieved too, because you're like, thank God we won. We don't have to go home and like be, get to the final and not win and have that disappointment. And then it's just like chaos, like utter
The
like
celebration.
joy, chaos. The celebrations are wild. Like it's also too like, I mean, you've been in major championships, you've been in seasons, like you've been in World Cups, all that. Like you're so locked down for not only the time you're in the tournament but kind of like leading up, like you're in like prep mode, so you're pretty like serious about things, and it's just like everyone all at one time like letting their hair out. It's just like
Yeah.
wild.
Did you the celebration? Did you go straight back home, or did you have a couple of days
Yeah, we
around?
went straight home. We went, what was it, the next day? Yeah, I think the next day. Yeah, we flew out like late the next day, landed in New York. Wild, like 2 days in New
Jeez.
York, and then we had like a huge parade. That was wild. Yeah, like the whole week basically was just like
Just a week.
flying from one coast to the other, like just trying to stay on top.
Just 1 week. Oh my! If I ever win a World Cup, mate, yeah, it's not 1 week. I'll tell you that 1 week. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's the absolute dream pinnacle. I winning, the Premier League and whatnot. It was of course, as you said, it's one of those things you dream of, all your life, and to actually do it was unbelievable. But I actually could not imagine if I couldn't imagine actually if England won the World Cup, the scenes that would
Oh
happen.
my
I
god.
always, I always say like after that, I could possibly, I could possibly retire. Yeah, if winning that with
Yeah.
England,
Yeah,
done,
you
finished.
retire
I'm,
a
I'm done.
king for
I'm,
sure.
I'm, I'm finished. Yeah, but no, that's
Where would the
definitely the.
parade be in England? What city would it be in?
I think definitely London.
Definitely London. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Central, 100%. That would be
I
crazy.
can't
But
even imagine. I can't even imagine the scenes in England if y'all won the World
yeah,
Cup.
we just need to stop mentioning it and just go and do it. That's it, man. But yeah, man,
You'll
it's
get there. You guys have a good young squad. You got like
no,
good young core, and then like group of you that have so much experience under your belt.
like now, I'm seeing the players that we need getting breaded through. We've always had a lot of talent in this country. We've always had um, really good talent, but I think over the years, I think the the process was kind of getting lost and what sort of players we needed, and I feel like now that the managers at clubs are having these beliefs in the young players and the style of players that I think we actually do need are getting fed through the system now, and it's one of them. I feel we're growing. As you said, we have a good group in like me, Harry, Hendo, that have that experience, but at the same time, you have a lot of the younger ones coming through now that are absolutely cold, as I would say, very very good. So now it's exciting times ahead, and the more players we have playing in different countries, the better. Because I think a lot of our players are all based in England, so we need some in France, Italy, Spain to learn different cultures and different football. So when we meet back up, it's we'll
Yeah, I feel like you
definitely.
guys are marrying the like the little bit older, like responsible, like Henderson. He's gonna like fucking do what he's supposed to do all the time, and then you gotta have the flair, you gotta have the
Yeah,
flash, like you gotta have those wild cards that are
yeah,
just gonna like. Sometimes they're gonna piss you off and like frustrate you, but they're gonna like bring the magic. Like you gotta have
yeah,
that personality when you get into a tournament, because just like every team knows each other so well, every team is prepared, every team's gonna like do all of the things they're supposed to do, and then it's like who has magic. So
yeah,
if you just like if you have too many people that are too responsible, then they're not ever going
Yeah.
to try the thing they're not supposed to try.
Yeah.
That's
There's
like,
a,
that's the thing that's going to win you the World Cup. Who's going to like pull a bicycle kick out? Who's going to shoot from range? Who's going to like take someone on when they shouldn't? Just like those little things. I feel like you guys have that good mix of kind of like the responsibility and then like the flair. You got to have that flash. That's why.
definitely, it's definitely exciting times ahead, to be fair.
Not too far away now.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be back to back now. Actually, what Euros? I think we're playing Euros next summer, and then we
Yeah,
go straight into it the following summer. So yeah, literally no rest now. But yeah,
I know.
these are two. I'd say, yeah, very important ones for me. You know, my first ever one. The team that we had was pretty much, it was kind of I'd say like a not really a trial, but it was more, kind of, as you said, we had a lot of wild cards in there. A few players that were, coming to the end of their career. And my last World Cup that I went to, that was a disappointing one for me because I was so up for it. I was like, this is my time now. I had a great season with Man City, and then bang, straight negative. The first 2 weeks that I was on camp, I think my tattoo, which I had on my foot for maybe 10 months. So I've had a tattoo on my foot for 10 months. I've been to the national team for 10 months. And just before I go to the World Cup, I have, like a story comes out that I have a gun on my foot. But I've had this tattoo for 10 months. Why at this moment in time? And, it was a massive deal here at the time. And, it kind of brought me, again, down to a place where I was just like, can I not just one day come with this national team and just have, that when you go away, I just want to be free. I just want to be, nothing to think about. That's when I play my best football. There's nothing, not even about pressure, but just nothing, no negativity. And I just went there that summer, and it was, I was overthinking with, all the negative press that I had. And it was, a disappointing one for me on a personal note, but at the same time, it was a great experience, and the team done, really well. And it's one of those I feel like we could have gone a bit further if we, had a little bit more, experience in us.
That's something interesting I feel like about English football is that I think because the media is so aggressive all the time, there's this tendency for teams and players to pull away.
Yeah.
But then, like, when you do get into a big tournament, you kind of can't pull away all that much. So then you're almost like not used to having the media, like, have that much access all the time. So you got to, like, find that balance, I guess, of like, it's almost better to kind of just like let them in and be like, whatever, this is what it is. And like be more open, because then like you're not as affected by it in a way.
Yeah, like for example, I think Gareth kind of picked up on this straight away when he came in, and he building up to that World Cup. We had like a couple sessions where all the players were there, all the media was there, and we'll sit down and we'll just go around and kind of get to know everyone. And it was since that day, it's been remarkable in terms of the relationship the players have with the media now. Like I've got a few friends in the media now, which I will actually have texts, after games, and they'll say congratulations and well done, and I reply back. And I feel what Gareth done, there to kind of, he's seen the pattern not just from our generation, but from the 80s, the 90s. He's seen, he's been there. He's been in finals. He's been at big championships, and he sees how it affects the England national team. So what he done there was a big stepping stone, I'd say, for our future. And all hats off to him, because that's a big thing to do. And it's a great working relationship that we do have with the media now.
Yeah, no, it's super smart too. Because I think it gives the media, like, they just, if they never get to talk to you, they just know Raheem Sterling, the player. They don't know Raheem off the field. They don't know you as a man. They don't know you as a person. So when they kind of get that full sort of thing, and you can crack a joke with them every now and then, and like, you're both ultimately sort of wanting the same thing. You want the sport to be popular. You want everybody to be successful and all of that. I feel like it like lets everybody's guard down a little bit. So they're probably less likely to be like, oh, Raheem's a jerk, or Raheem doesn't do this, or criticize you as much, as they're like, okay, like we know what he was thinking in this moment, or whatever it may be. So I always find that, I mean, I like the media. I like to just talk and like talk basically the whole time. So I always find it funny, but it's kind of like you can use it to your advantage as well in a way.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I must give you, credit for. I love the you know, the swagger you bring on the pitch, you know, you just how can I say it? Just yeah, you're just yourself. You know, what you
Yeah.
see is what you get, and it's a great thing. And you know, to have this combo with you, it's a lovely, you know, thing that I'll definitely take away, man, because I cherish and actually really respect what you're doing at this moment in time, man. That's for sure.
Appreciate it. Likewise. Yeah, this was fun.
No, thanks for having a combo, man. But just continue to go in the direction you're going, man. And sooner or later, you see the results, man. So big
Yeah,
up, man.
likewise.
Massive big
Good luck with
up.
everything once you start back up.
No, thank you, man. See you later.
Cross paths eventually. See ya.
Yeah. Bye.